You will see the finishing of the exhaust on another episode, so we need to get on with that. This, though, we need to sort out the fuel system in the tank, something I've been kind of putting off because I've been trying to work out what to do. Obviously, on a stock Mini, the fuel gets sucked through the angle, either sucked by the carburettor, or I think sometimes they had a little fuel pump. Not sure on the SPI and MPIs. This was a carb model. So, first thing is going to be blanking that off. Might be using the in-tank level. I haven't designed the clocks yet. That will depend on the speedo. Another episode again. Fuel, though, we definitely need a pump. This pump has a regulator on it because it's a returnless system, which is useful. On the negative side, could have just run a return line, that wouldn't have been a problem, and I could have just run a pump outside. Bosch 044, whatever they're called. They are noisy, though. So I need to fit this in there. And as you can see, it's a pretty curvy thing. However, I think we will, with a little bit of fettling, get a flat edge up here somewhere. Now we're going to have to cut a big hole in it, obviously. We've got enough room for the height of this. Great again. That's our only issue, but that's actually a redundant part, so that could be just blocked off, cut. Now our issue is, it obviously doesn't reach the bottom, so it kind of reduces our fuel tank to half, which they're not big as it is, as you can see. So it's going to get this on the workbench, and we're going to undo these little rivet things on the end here, flick them off, and we're going to see what we can do. We're trying to drop this right to the bottom of the tank somehow. It's going to take some jiggery pokery, maybe some bends on it, because it needs to basically sit kind of here, over here, not just straight down, because there's that thing there. So either it's take it apart all and then drop it down on some bent rods, or we take it apart, we have a look, see if the little pickup can be put on a pipe, and we can then stick that pipe right down the bottom corner, which would be ideal. So let's take it apart and I'll show you what it looks like. At certain points you're just at the point of no return. I'm like, oh, I'm fiddling. I'm like, gonna have to extend the wires anyway. So locked them, took some pictures, cut one short, cut one long, so that you know which way around they go. Can't get the tube off that. Using heat around fuel, don't like the idea. Gonna have to replace it to make it longer anyway. Chopped in half. Same thing with this. Got to make a decision at some point. Gonna try and make less work for myself. So retaining that, put the pickup top further to the back. That's kind of out the way as well. Plug can go there, and the wiring will go there. And the fuel pipe can just run straight down the back then to its connection. Keeps things simple, out of the way. And it's a bit relevant about where on this spot here it sits, because I've got to bend to get the pickup. And then what we'll probably do is put some plate behind this with retaining nuts welded on, weld that plate in, and then we'll make some little sort of hooks to go onto the top of it that, as you bolt down like on a battery clamp, bolts down and holds this on with the big rubber seal. So we're going to do like a billion drill bits now, holes, because I haven't got a hole saw that big, and get that thing cut out. It's in really tidy. I'm quite happy with it. Obviously it's on a slight curve, but there's multiple seals on this, and with, I reckon, an M10 on either corner with a nice bracket over each corner holding it down nice and tight, should do the job great. 4 holes with 2 holes adjoining on each of them, so that they can accept a couple of welds for our welded on nuts. So that will go on the other side of that, and then we'll cut the welds to hold them in, and then we'll paint all that later on, and then we can sort out the brown stuff in there. So now I've just got to work out what to do with all this rust. It's not that bad, but just try and treat the inside of it, and then we're going to be aiming for like down there somewhere for the pump. Need to get rid of that next, and all that metal and swarf, and then we'll see where we can put the actual pump pickup. That's it, it's job done. So we got your welded in captive nuts behind, as you saw just then in the time lapse. Then we've got 4 bolts holding it all down, squishes it down lovely, and then for final fit we'll probably just put a few rubber washers between the plate here and the tank, just in case there's a little bit of vapour that wants to escape through the bolt hole. I doubt it, very, very much so. A little bit of thread lock in there will stop that, in my opinion, but just to prevent anyone moaning at me for that, and my own head. That's sorted. Squished down really nice, There's no problem with the seal there going on, even though it's a curved surface, so that's really good. I will do a pressure test, probably at some point, where I'll block this off and just put some pressure in that and see if we can see any air coming through. Effectively, the only place it should come out is here, and that'll vent to outside. So, I've said so enough. Now what are we going to do with our pickup? So this is our original pickup, and obviously I need to cut it out basically. My simple method is going to be I'm going to zip this off flush, and then I'm going to drill it out with a 9mm drill bit, I think it is, and then clean it up. Well, if I drill it out with a 9mm drill bit, that actually will remove the piece inside without having to get like a saw inside the tank. Pull that out and then weld that up nicely. So that's welded in. Just give that a lick of primer just for now so it doesn't rust. That's the pickup. Old one. Plugged. This is the menu that just keeps on giving. As you can just see down in there, we just give it a quick rub with wire wheels, and just to get rid of loose rust, and then we'll wipe it down and crust it. And then I noticed a little bit of light shining through, so we really heavily wire wheeled the other side and found 4 pinprick holes. I mean, they weren't massive, and good old Artec welder, brilliant. I could never weld such thin metal before, but welded a plug around them, and the metal around them was fine. Obviously had a little bit of moisture just sat at the bottom there for years and years, and it's just sat there rusting. Everything else seems fine. I've rubbed back other areas, given it tap tests. There's nothing else in there that I'm panicked about really. So we're going to crust it, and then we're going to pour 15, make a proper like liner paint, really thick stuff. I've ordered a tin of that already, it's on the way, and it'll get lined with that, and even that they say will actually fill up pinprick holes and cure them. Well, we've repaired them, but this will give it a proper lining, this tank, which I don't think they usually get, because of course you can't get in there. So we'll wipe it down now, give it some crust, and then let that dry, and then we'll line it with this special paint, and that's what we'll do. And that's it. Crust word doing its job in there. Very, very nice. We'll just leave that to do its job, and when the Pour 15 special tank liner paint comes, we'll give it all a nice thick layer of that paint and let that sort it out. We're also waiting for a couple of pieces of stainless rod which are going to help us locate the pump down at the bottom, because obviously originally, as you saw earlier, it was like a 6-inch drop, and we need like a 14-inch drop or 400mm down there into that bottom corner there. So that's all good. It's all working nicely on the bits it needs to work on. We'll leave that now and prepare the other stuff to be done. Not really what short stage I'm showing this, but the exhaust is about to go off to Tiggy's. He thinks he's getting just the dump pipe. And I need to get a lemon in here to put a gearbox in it. So look at my other stuff up there. Press where my finger's wiggling. Alright, the inside of our tank's had some treatment. It's going to need a little bit of a wire brush, as where the crust doesn't work, it kind of flakes. So we'll wire brush it. The Pour 15 stuff still hasn't arrived. It's a bit annoying, but we'll get on with this in the meantime. So here is the fuel pump, regulator, filters, all in there, and we can just about get that in the bottom of our tank, right at the lowest point. Really ideal. So I'd like to keep that. Keeps a bit of a swirl pot going, so it stops any surge as well. And there's 2 connections that used to just basically make that hat sit on the top. Obviously they're no good, because it's going to kind of be sitting a bit like sort of that. So I've come up with some M8, I think it is, might even be M10, can't remember now, threaded stainless rod. I'm going to thread it into the hat, which it will do almost perfectly. Obviously I can't thread it into this at the same time as threading it into that, that doesn't work. So we're just going to drill out very slightly these 2 sections here and add a stainless nut either side, and then we can lock this into the position we want it to sit inside the tank. It won't move anywhere, and it'll be connected to this, and then we'll wingle wangle it in. So we've just given it a quick wire brush, as there was a bit of loose flaking, wiped it all down, hoovered it, done it again, so there's nothing in there that's all loose and nasty. So it doesn't look great, but it's ready to go. I could obviously probably go further, but I'm not. feels pretty good to me. I'm going to use this stuff for inside the tank. Fuel tank sealer, pour 15, possibly the most expensive liquid I've ever purchased. 26 quid for this tiny little can. Yep, and my hands aren't that big. But it seals pinholes and seams, is non-porous flexible film, resistant to all fuels, alcohols and additives. It's professional use. So that all applies other than the last bit. Let's get it on. Now all dry, it goes a sort of satin finish, and although you can sort of see like puddles and stuff, it's rock hard. Brilliant stuff. In fact, I left it on the brush to see sort of how it would go, and it got stuck to the workbench, and trying to get it off, I lifted the brush and it broke in half. It is rock hard. Yeah, good stuff. So it is expensive, and I only used probably about 1/8 of it. So I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of it, but I'm sure I'll find a reason to use it one day. So now we need to fit the fuel pickup pump in again, make sure it's all a set position and set it, and then we can adjust the fuel pickup, the OEM one, which is what we're going to use, and maybe have to just bend it around a little bit so it clears the pump which sits over in there somewhere. Alright, well after a sort of hour of fiddling basically, and this is what we've come up with. Threads in to the top hat, as I'm calling it, and I've just used the sort of swirl part, no point putting the pump in there yet. It's also all getting messy and dirty. So let me show you how it fits. So it just fits through there, and then we go that way, and she's in. Winning. So we know down there the fuel pump sits in that recess down there, and I've hopefully put it already before I did the bars and stuff in a position where our original mini little fuel tank level sender thing won't interfere. I've given it a little kink. You can see that just kinking off slightly to the left. It was straight. Now this is the right fiddle to put in, so I might not be able to do it one-handed. There's a little notch that lines up with that notch there. Probably hear that it's raining as well, raining torrentially after 3 weeks of lovely sunshine. It's freezing in here today. Yeah, I'm going to have to just put you down for a second. Okay, and then this little ring, which I don't need to put on fully, but you pop around that. And then inside, hopefully, we can see that that will stay to the left of our fuel tank pickup and bars that go down. So we'll leave that in there for now. once the glue's all dry, we'll have a look. Okay, so we've got our fancy fuel pipe, half a metre, I think it was 11 quid or something. Coline 2240. Comes in American sizes, you'll sort of have to wear that out. But basically it's designed for anything down to ethanol and designed for going inside fuel tanks. Unfortunately our stainless little clips haven't turned up and I really want to get on with this, so I'm reluctant to use clamp clips because I can't get them off. So I'm hoping some temporary little pinch clips will work. I've got nothing that small, which is why I ordered some. Winning. So I guess we need to try it in the car now. Try it in the tank. It does. I do need to do a re-glue. One glue connection cracked for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why. But for seeing if it works, it'll do for now. Things like these brackets will finish off on the final fit. We've got to tank to paint and stuff, so but I just want to make sure it's going to hold fuel. Put a few litres in it and let's find out. Exciting times. So that was where the repairs were. We're dry. This is good. We dry this side. We'll dry, and if we pour it over, like onto this seal here, doesn't appear to be leaking either. Very good. Right, fuel tank sealed, not leaking. Nice. Next job, as I said, wiring. Let's plug it in, see if it puts out some pressure and gives that some fuel to go. That's what we want. Next episode. That is the tank finished. Thanks for watching. Might just need to clean that breather out. I think I've got a bit of paint stuck in there. I'll just poke something through that now. A bit of welding wire. And that's the tank finished. Thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, unsubscribe if you didn't like it. I don't mind, that's okay. I'd like people to subscribe that want to watch my videos. See some other stuff, and the next video, wiring, trying to start the engine.